Now on Denver 7 News at 7 a.m. on Local 3. After just 2 weeks, we're down to the 2 finalists for Douglas County Schools' next superintendent. A breakdown of who will face interviews today.
Also, a local mother's warning about how easy it is for kids to score drugs on social media.
And it's a special day here in Denver, how you can celebrate 303 Day in our city with some deals. March 3rd, yeah, for those of us natives, you know, that was our number growing up, right?
Yeah, that was the thing. Now there's so many others.
Exactly.
Good Thursday morning to you. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. Meteorologist Lisa Hidalgo has your 303 forecast
Yeah,
here.
I'm bummed I gave up my 303.
I know.
I'm a 720 girl now. We've got temps this morning in the low 40s, upper 60s here by noon. Mostly sunny. We're going to be in the low to mid 70s between 4 and 5. What a beautiful day and gorgeous. This is going to be our last day of 70s, though, before the next storm rolls in. Tomorrow's still mild, just not quite as warm or as sunny as what we're going to see today. Erie, Platteville, north up to Fort Collins, you're going to see some upper 60s, near 70, 40s, and again, some 50s for the mountains. Take a look at southeastern Colorado. We're talking summer-like conditions near 80 there, 60s down to the southwest, Durango this afternoon, 64. Now, coming up, I'm going to take you through our futurecast, statewide hour by hour, show you when that snow is going to first start in the mountains, what we're expecting here timing-wise with the storm, and how much snow we'll see by Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, so it could be a slow and sloppy drive for you heading up on I-70 to the ski resorts here this weekend. Right now, the heavy traffic is on I-70, 270, I-76, and you can see from Air Tracker 7 up there in that north side of town on I-25. So this is the southbound side. Right there's 104th, Thornton Parkway, 88th, 84th. So you see that slow traffic all the way down through there. Very typical stuff. You can see that in the drive times as well. Not seeing any problems through there. About a half an hour, 20 minutes or so on I-76 and 270, which is really crowded. I-70 really crowded out to the east side of town. So it's not a fun drive by any means with a lot of stop and go traffic, but at least we're not seeing a whole lot of problems for us on the morning drive just yet. Did have that one crash on 285 to the west. Looks like most everybody's able to get through there in okay shape right by North Turkey Creek. The drive to and from the airport's just fine.
Douglas County is closer to naming its new superintendent. The school board has narrowed down its search to 2 finalists now. The announcement comes less than a month after the board voted to fire former superintendent Corey Wise.
This morning, we're going 360 on politics impacting our kids in the classroom. From the controversy over Dougco's superintendent switch to a push to make school elections more partisan and a new bill requiring Colorado districts to be more transparent about what kids are learning.
Denver 7's Colette Bordelon kicks off our coverage this morning. And Colette, the school board in Douglas County has so far kept its promise of fast-tracking the search process.
Yeah, you guys remember the search for the superintendent technically started in mid-February, so it's only taken the school board a little more than 2 weeks to narrow down their list of candidates, find these 2 finalists who they want to see in the superintendent position. One of those finalists is Erin Kane. She'll be interviewed at noon today during a public meeting. Her name's been floated as the favorite. She's the executive director of schools for American Academy, a charter system. Kane served as interim superintendent for Douglas County Schools from 2016 to 2018. The other candidate being interviewed today is Danny Windsor, the executive director for the Parker region of Douglas County Schools, which he's been since the summer of 2020. Before that, he was with the district for over a dozen years. Now, there was a motion to move Windsor forward as the only finalist, but that was defeated. Next Tuesday's board meeting will be the chance for public comment on the finalists with an interview panel quizzing them on March 10th. The last public comment session before hiring the next superintendent is set for March 22nd. As for Corey Wise, who was fired from the superintendent position he held for a little less than a year, he's taken a new job with Jeffco Public Schools. His attorneys did file an open records request for any communication surrounding his firing back in mid-February. Live this morning, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
Thank you, Colette. Well, debates over masks and vaccines and remote learning, we've seen it, have forced local school boards to become a lot more political than they used to be. Here in Colorado, all school board candidates run under a nonpartisan title, but you can typically tell which way they lean on the political spectrum. We saw it during last year's Douglas County School Board election, where more conservative candidates formed a group calling themselves Kids First, and others campaigned under the slogan Community Matters. Now, more districts across the country are allowing school board candidates to tie themselves to a political party. Our national team visited Fayette County, Tennessee, where for the first time this year, They chose to have partisan school board races with candidates running as either a Democrat or Republican. Those in support say the move better informs the voters, but others say it could force school board primary elections, which would make elections and campaigning more divisive. While school board elections become more competitive, Colorado lawmakers are considering limiting how much people can donate to those campaigns. A bill making progress in the legislature right now would cap individual contributions at $2,500 per candidate and donations from small committees at $25,000. In the last election, Douglas County candidates raised more than $90,000 each. Some individual donors gave upwards of $20,000 to their candidate.
From the school board to the state house and even to the State of the Union Republican response, parents are raising their voices.
They're tired of politicians who tell parents they should sit down, be silent, and let government control their kids' education and future.
Republican lawmakers in at least a dozen states are turning parents' concerns into bills. One bill up for a hearing in Colorado's House Education Committee today would require school districts to be more upfront about what kids are learning. House Bill 1066, sponsored by Republican Tim Geithner, would require school districts to post on their websites all textbooks and materials being used for all subjects, any surveys kids are given in school, and information about professional development or training teachers are undergoing.
So right now what you're seeing is there's a desire for parents to fully understand what curriculum is being taught at their schools. When everyone went to that e-learning environment, parents became a lot more aware of what their child was learning from.
But it wasn't just remote learning that seems to have caused new tensions between parents and their schools. In districts across the country, some parents have raised their voices about the teaching of race relations and history. Falcon School District 49 in Geithner's House District specifically banned the teaching of critical race theory earlier this year. But Geithner says schools in Colorado already have to follow rules about teaching controversial topics, and that this bill is just about giving parents easier access to information that can help them make the best choice for their child.
Being able to see what type of curriculum is being offered, maybe there's a better fit as I do that long-term planning.
While easing the burden for parents, he says this won't add work for teachers.
This shouldn't burden teachers. This is a requirement for the school district. I wrote it very, very carefully that way.
Now, the bill is unlikely to pass in the Democratic-controlled legislature, but if it were to pass, Denver Public Schools said the majority of their district-managed schools already use a district-supported curriculum, and they could easily share that online. However, for schools that do not use the district curriculum, they would have to collect and share all those resources at the school level. Turning to two big headlines on the situation in Ukraine this morning as Russian fighters surround several major cities. President Biden is calling a rare cabinet meeting at noon our time. He's set to make brief remarks at the top of the meeting on the latest developments in Ukraine. The president is also video calling the leaders of Australia, India, and Japan. And we've learned the White House is asking Congress for $10 billion in additional aid for Ukraine. Right now, leaders from Russia and Ukraine are meeting in Belarus.
Back here at home this morning, a Colorado mother has an urgent plea to other parents about fentanyl. The synthetic opioid is 100 times stronger than morphine, and last year more than 800 Coloradans died because of it. Denver 7's Jessica Crawford joins us in studio this morning because Jessica, a mom that we spoke to, nearly lost her child to fentanyl, and she wants other parents to know what to watch out for.
That's right, and that mother is telling other parents to be aware of what's going on with your child's social media. She says that's where her daughter was able to gain access to a pill that nearly claimed her life. The mother who spoke with us wants to conceal her identity as the investigation into her daughter's overdose continues. She says her daughter thought that she was taking oxycodone, but she really took a counterfeit pill that was laced with fentanyl, a chemical that can kill in very small doses. The DEA says there is an entire list of emojis that are used to buy and sell drugs on social media. On Snapchat specifically, the emoji depicting an electrical plug is often used to show that a dealer has access to illicit drugs. When shown next to a blue circle emoji, it can mean that the dealer has access to Percocet or oxycodone. The mother who spoke to us is grateful that her daughter's life was saved by a friend who performed CPR.
I didn't even know she was going to be okay. You know, some of these kids don't come back okay. They don't come back. They come back brain damaged. They come back with parents that have to care for them 24/7. They're never the same. I show her these videos because I want her to be afraid. I want her to be really, really afraid.
Snapchat told Denver 7 it's committed to fighting the national fentanyl crisis, saying in part that they're working tirelessly to eradicate drug dealers from the platform. Denver's Public Health and Environment Department offers free fentanyl testing strips and Narcan, which can help treat an overdose in emergency situations. We have where you can sign up for those on thedenverchannel.com. I'm Jessica Crawford, Denver 7.
Thank you, Jessica. Investigating the impacts of another social media platform, why Attorney General Phil Weiser is looking into TikTok.
And many of us are trying to get outside and enjoy this warm weather while we can, but not everywhere is ready for spring. Why some trails are closed now.